Most people think that getting traffic to a new website means learning SEO or running expensive ads or something really complicated. I've launched over 150 websites as a web designer and a StoryBrand certified guide, and I can tell you right now that ads and SEO are not where I would start. Most of what I've seen work is free or close to free, and you can do it in under an hour a day, which matters when you're just getting started and you need to make sure every marketing effort that you do actually ticks the needle and attracts clients. And that's why today I'm gonna walk you through 6 strategies that I would use to get traffic to a brand new website. Plus, I'll put in a bonus 7th strategy at the end that I think enough people are not talking about, but that can actually work really, really well. These are things that real business owners I know are doing right now to sign clients. The first one you can literally start today. The first thing I would do to get traffic to a brand new website is a soft launch. And by that, I mean I would reach out to my personal network one-on-one with a specific ask. I wouldn't just go post on social media and call it a website launch. I would actually reach out to people individually over the course of about 3 days. Day 1, I would sit down and I would make a list of my top 20 people. These could be past clients, they could be friends, mentors, people from my certification program, maybe even former coworkers. I would reach out to them with something really specific, not, hey, check out my new website. More like, hey, I just launched this new site. If you know anyone dealing with whatever the problem is that you solve, would you send them this link, please? We don't want to be vague here. We want to be inviting them to think about a specific person they know that we might be able to help. Day 2 of my soft launch is where I would go post on social media. I'd post wherever I have a presence, but again, I wouldn't just say, hey, I launched a website. Nobody really cares about that. Instead, I would frame it around a useful resource that I have on my site. Something like, hey, I made this free guide or free assessment that helps specific audience with specific problem, or even, hey, I offer free consultations for this kind of person. If that's you or someone that you know, here's the link. That makes it very clear what's in it for them instead of just making the social media announcement about you. Day 3 of my soft launch, I would follow up with the 5 most connected people in your network, and I would offer them a free 20-minute session that they can gift to anyone that they know. Make it clear to them that this 20 minutes is not going to be a sales call. It's actually going to be free coaching or free consulting. That way it feels like a really generous move that also helps put you in front of people that you otherwise might not meet. I know someone that had an old mailing list from a previous business that she had not touched in over 4 years. She decided to leave no stone unturned, so she emailed that list. She let them know what she'd been up to, that she was doing something new now. She asked if they wanted to sign up for her newsletter and sent them to her website. And within just a couple of minutes, she had 5 new subscribers from a list that she thought was completely dead. The reason why this works so well is that people that come to you through someone that they trust are so much more willing to work with you. You just have to remind your network that you exist and give them someone very specific to send your way. Now, once you start doing this, people are going to start looking you up. They're going to check out your socials. And that is why we need to make sure that those platforms are set up to speak to them. And that's why the second thing I would do to get more traffic to my website is to optimize my social profiles. Most strategies in this video send people back to your socials at some point. So if they aren't set up to tell them exactly who you help and what the next step is to take, then you are going to lose people. This only takes about 30 minutes to an hour. It's completely free. Here's what I would do to optimize my profiles. I'd go through every platform that I'm on or that I'm planning to be on, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, whatever you use. And for each one, I would ask myself 3 questions. Does the first line say who I help and with what? Is my website or my free resource the first clickable link? And if I have a banner or a cover photo on that platform, does it reference that resource or that link? For LinkedIn specifically, I think that your featured section is a really underrated section. There, I would pin at least 2 things: my free resource, like a guide or a video course, if I have one, and my free call, something like book a free call with me and I can help you with specific things. Bonus points if you even update your email signature, because every email you send is actually free advertising. Your name, your niche, your link to your site. I actually have a video that walks you through how to create a professional email signature, so I'll link that in the description if you want to watch that. Now your socials are set up, people can find you and they know what to do next. Here's where I would actually focus the bulk of my daily marketing effort, and it's not where you would think. I would not put most of my effort into posting on social media. I would put it into commenting and engaging. This is especially true on platforms like LinkedIn and Substack, where comments get quite a lot of visibility, though commenting and engaging definitely still helps on Instagram and Facebook too. To make that commenting and engaging more effective, I would build what I call a Dream 20 list. The Dream 20 list is a list of 20 creators whose followers match my ideal clients. I turn on notifications for them so that I see their posts within the first hour or two after they're published, and I would leave one really thoughtful comment per creator per week. I don't mean just saying, great post. I mean actually showing up in their comments and adding something valuable, something interesting, like agreeing and adding a specific example from your work, or sharing a counter perspective, or asking an open-ended question that moves the needle and moves the conversation forward in the comments. That helps to increase your own visibility because people start to see you show up there regularly. With LinkedIn, you can even actually see who's viewed your profile, which is super helpful. When profile views or replies to those comments start coming in, and they will, connect with those people, follow them, reach out to them with a simple note like, hey, that was a great conversation that we had on so-and-so's post. It's nice to see you here. Here's a stat that really changed how I think about posting a lot versus commenting and engaging. So a recent analysis of 140 consultants who are charging significant monthly fees found that 121 of them were posting less than average, maybe, like 2 or 3 times a week. They won their clients through strategic commenting instead. LinkedIn and Substack actually surface comments from active commenters into their network's feeds. So you don't need to post 15 times a day, post a couple of times a week, and then be an insightful voice in the conversations that your ideal clients are already having on social media. This costs nothing, and it only takes about 20 minutes a day. If you're thinking, I love this Dream 20 idea, Jenny, but I have no idea who my 20 creators would be, I built a free AI research assistant that helps you to find them. You put in your business, your niche, a little bit about your ideal clients, and it's going to give you back a list of 20 creators to start following and engaging with. I'll put the link to the Dream 20 assistant in the description, or you can also get it at jennielakenan.com/dream20. So that Dream 20 is your baseline, but here is a longer burn strategy that I've seen be incredibly powerful for the online entrepreneurs that I've worked with. I call this the group long game. In online groups, often people are actively asking questions and looking for help with specific topics. So when you show up with a great answer, you're solving a problem and you are building trust. To implement this, I would pick 2 or 3 online communities where my ideal clients are already spending time talking about their business. This could be Facebook groups, it could be school communities, subreddits, or even low-cost paid communities from someone who has, a bigger following than you, and they serve the same type of client, but with like a different offer. I'd join those groups. I would introduce myself briefly. I would not be promoting anything except maybe, within allowed channels. I would spend about 6 weeks just being helpful, answering questions when people are talking about stuff that's in my lane, starting conversations, not pitching, just being a thoughtful, useful member of the community and showing up and caring about the people in it. Then after about 6 weeks, I would send a message to the admin of the group. I would say, hey, I've been in this group for a couple of months now. I've really loved it. I see that a lot of your members are talking about this topic, which you don't necessarily help with specifically. I actually have a workshop on the specific pain point that they're dealing with. Would you be up for me running it for the group for free? I wouldn't pitch in it. I would just be there to help. And a lot of group owners are probably going to say yes, because you've proven that you're a good citizen. You're there because you care. They're probably looking for experts that can come and, provide extra value to their community. They just don't want strangers coming in who've contributed nothing to show up and ask for the microphone. This is actually how I grew my business initially. I'm a certified life coach as well as a web designer. I don't have a coaching business, but I decided I wanted to certify so that I could have those coaching skills in my life and in my business. I joined the alumni community for the coach certification program that I graduated from, not with the intention to pitch at all. I just wanted to be useful there. And that turned into me over time becoming one of the go-to referred web designers for the coaches in that group. The most important thing here is that you are not hunting for clients in these groups. You are building relationships, you are planting seeds. And honestly, the group long game is one of the most rewarding strategies on this list, in my opinion, because sometimes the friendships and connections that you build along the way end up being some of the best parts of running a business. Now, everything I've shared so far is about showing up and building trust over time, but this next strategy can put you in front of a very warm audience almost overnight. An email list swap is where you find 3 or 4 other service providers who work with the same type of client that you do, but with a completely different offer. So if I'm a leadership coach, I might look for a fractional CFO or a productivity consultant or a career strategist. You want to find someone that's complementary, but not competing. And to be clear, this is not sharing your email list with anyone. You are not handing over your subscribers' information. What you are doing is emailing your own list about the other person's resource, and then they do the same for you. It's more of a referral relationship. I would reach out to the other service provider with a very simple proposal. Hey, I have a lead magnet that my audience loves. I think yours would really love it too. Do you want to do a one-time swap? I'll send your lead magnet to my list with a personal intro. You send mine to yours. There's no money exchanged here. It would just be a clean trade. And the key here is that each of you write that kind of warm personal introduction so that it doesn't just feel like a forwarded promo, which no one wants to get. Something like, hey, I want to introduce you to Name, who I trust completely for this specific thing. She made this for you. I think it would be really useful. Here's the link. That personal vouch is really what makes it work. Deliverability experts actually say that this kind of simple list swap consistently outperforms a $1,000 ad spend on Meta for long-term conversion, and I can see why. I actually just did this for a friend of mine, Jen Gould. She's a PR coach. She helps coaches and online entrepreneurs get featured on podcasts and in media. I emailed my list about her free one-sheet template, which is a tool to help you pitch yourself to a podcast host. I wrote a personal email to my list about why I think she's great and why they would find her resource useful. And I had pretty quickly a couple of clients replying to that email saying, oh my gosh, this is such a great resource. Like, how does Jen's package work? Can you connect me with her? That is the power of a warm introduction. Now, all of these strategies we've talked about so far work, but there's one thing that determines whether or not they're actually going to pay off for you. This is perhaps the most important long game strategy of them all, and that is to pick one repeatable habit and protect it. Every business owner that I have watched build momentum picked one thing and they did it consistently. Ivan Misner, who founded BNI, the world's largest business networking program, did a study in the 1980s where he let some chapters meet every other week instead of the normal kind of weekly BNI meeting. He found that the groups that met every other week passed 52% fewer referrals. When he showed those groups the data and asked them to switch back to weekly, 6 out of the 7 did. The one that didn't closed within a year. His line, which I love, said, do 6 things 1,000 times. Not 1,000 things 6 times. Your repeatable habit might be sending a weekly newsletter, or it might be recording a podcast episode every week, or spending 20 minutes a day engaging on social media, or showing up regularly in a networking group. The idea is just to show up in small, consistent ways in your marketing, because over time that really does compound. I mentioned at the beginning that I had a bonus strategy, and here it is. If I were starting over to get traffic to my brand new website, I would guest on niche podcasts, but not the ones that you are probably thinking about. I wouldn't waste time pitching the top 100 shows where I'd be one guest among 50 and probably get rejected anyway. The real opportunity I see in 2026 is the smaller shows. Podcasts whose hosts personally sell services to the same type of client that I do, but they solve a different problem. Because those hosts are not going to see me as competition. They're going to see me as a referral asset that can personally be recommended to their audience. Here's how I would approach it. I would build a list of about 30 podcasts using a tool like Listen Notes or Raphonic. I'd filter for niche fit and look for shows that are past kind of that awkward early stage, but not yet so big that they won't be open to someone that's maybe a little newer to the game. Then I would get on Podmatch, which is only about $30 a month. Many experienced podcast guests actually book a lot of their appearances through there. On my Podmatch profile, I would name a few suggested episode topics so the host knows exactly what kind of conversation that they're getting. And then when I pitch, I would reference a specific recent episode that they recorded. I would propose perhaps 3 bulleted takeaways that their audience would get from an episode with me in it. And I would include perhaps like my scheduling link in the pitch just to make it easy for them to book if they're interested. A coach in my network, Zach Spafford, went all in on this when he launched his coaching business. He pitched himself on podcasts. He got in front of other people's businesses. That helped him hit 6 figures in his first year of business and really have it be a full-time gig. The reason podcasts work so well is trust. Listeners spend 30 to 60 minutes hearing you think through real problems, getting advice from you. So by the time someone finishes the episode and clicks the link in the show notes to go to your website, they don't necessarily need to be convinced that you're an expert. They're ready for a conversation about whether or not you're the right expert for them. Now that you have a plan for getting people to your new website, you're going to need to know how to actually nurture them after they subscribe, because getting someone on your email list is only half of the equation. What you say after that is what actually turns them from a subscriber into a paying client. That's exactly what I cover in this video right here.